you told me a while ago the process wasn't dead.
Yeah.
Well, if this has been any semblance of that, the process is dead.
Okay.
That's when I say the process is dead. That's not a shot at Joel Embiid. That's not a shot at Ben Simmons. It's not a shot at Tyrese Maxey. Not a shot at Tobias. It's a shot at the organization saying, hey, it's better to embrace a rebuild or retooling than to hold it off. Right now, when I look at the Philadelphia 76ers, Joel Embiid, to me, I think the Philadelphia Sixers need to trade Joel Embiid. Let me just say that. I don't think you'll ever be able to get his value as high as you could probably get it right now. His knees are gone.
Mm-hmm.
He gets hurt on a regular basis. He cannot complete a full season healthy. He burns out towards the end of the season. If he's not performing at a high level, his team falls off a cliff. Like, to me, I think the Philadelphia 76ers would do themselves a service by just saying, hey, you know what? Let's trade Joel Embiid this summer, see what we can get, and just start this thing fresh and build around Tyrese Maxey. Hell, you don't even have to commit yourself and say we're committing ourselves to Tyrese Maxey, but just say, okay, we're going to sign Tyrese Maxey. He's the one guy that we know is back. I know Tobias Harris. Will he stay there? Will he go? He probably is going to more than likely leave. I could see him going back to the Pistons. But for a guy like Joel Embiid, give him a chance to really compete for a championship somewhere else. Let him go somewhere where he doesn't have to be the focal point anymore. Give him somewhere where if he misses a couple of games, the team won't fall off a cliff. The team can stay afloat. That's my belief. And I just don't think Philly does it anymore. And that's not a shot at the Philadelphia 76ers faithful. You guys have been great towards Joel Embiid. You guys have supported him. You guys have been great fans, I would say. Even though sometimes you're hard on some of your players. This is the organization needing to embrace change because Joel Embiid is getting older. The injuries are piling up. The lack of consistency in which we've been seeing with the Philadelphia 76ers is unavoidable at this point in time. Joel Embiid, to me, man, I don't see a situation in which it makes a lot of sense for him to remain with the 76ers next year. I think it will be doing right by Joel. I think it'll be doing right by the Sixers. And I know Joel Embiid's main goal is, hey, I want to bring a championship to Philly, but that's just doesn't seem likely anymore, guys. Doesn't seem likely anymore. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
50-50, Malik. And I'm not going to get it rubbed in my face yet because I don't think until Joel Embiid is off the team, I don't think the process is dead. That's what I truly believe, right? I think when you look at the 76ers, Joel Embiid is a dominant force. He is an MVP candidate. And I want to touch on, you talked about trading Embiid. I think it's a real conversation you have to have. And it is crazy, right? Trading a former MVP, trading the face of your franchise. But when we discuss a guy who is like injury prone, a guy who you don't know what you're going to get out of, I think it is important to have a conversation, right? If they do get knocked out in the first round, you have to have the conversation because the point you made, Joel Embiid is, his value will never be as high as it is right now. So I completely agree with you. When I look at potential teams, though, that's where it gets kind of scary, right? I mean, I look at the haul that Kevin Durant got with, to the Phoenix Suns. They got an absolute haul, and I think the 76ers can get an absolute haul as well. Mm-hmm. But when we look at the different landing spots, you got to find a team that's going to be willing to take them. So, there's definitely some teams. You look at the Detroit Pistons, you look at the Indiana Pacers. There's a lot of teams, hell, even the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? Let's say the Cavaliers want to ship Donovan Mitchell and pair Darius Garland with someone, or the exact opposite, ship Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, or Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen. I think there are going to be a ton of landing spots for Joel Embiid. My only question is going to be for the 76ers. Are they okay with letting the process end? And that is the question, right? Because once Joel Embiid is off the team, the process is officially dead. And the more I'm thinking about it, Malik, it might be time to go and cut ties, just because every single year it seems like we're talking, is it the year? Is he healthy? And every single year we have the same exact answer. It's either he doesn't perform in the playoffs, or the team around him sucks, or he's not healthy. So they might have to trade him.
And to be honest with you, I think it's a while since we could say the team around him sucks. He's had talent around him.
Yeah.
And he's had consistent talent around him. I don't think that's the issue. I think that it's a situation in which, when you look at it, I just think that the two sides may have just outgrown it.
Yeah.
And again, I just think this is doing right by Joel. He's 30 years old. Big men in the league, this is the part where their bodies start to break down. And we're starting to see that. Joel has put in high volume minutes. He's put up great production for the Philadelphia 76ers consistently. But it's one of those things where it's a situation in which I don't think anymore that it makes a lot of sense. It's a lot to ask of him at this point. We're talking about 2 seasons in a row in which we've seen him deal with injuries. And so I just think that at some point we have to have an honest conversation. We can't blame people. We can't say, oh, it's James Harden's fault. We can't say it's this person's fault, Tobias Harris's fault, or whoever the next talent that Philadelphia brings in